Welcome students, I am Dr. Smita Sharma and we are continuing with operational amplifier. In the we have discussed in detail 741 IC op-amp. Its pin configuration, we have discussed its electrical parameters, main specifications were all covered in the previous lecture. In this lecture, we'll see how to use an IC op-amp. But before using IC op-amp, we will discuss what is meant by an ideal op-amp and what is the equivalent circuit of an op-amp indicates. So first of all, we'll discuss ideal op-amp. An ideal op-amp would exhibit following electrical characteristics. This here you should remember that we are talking about ideal op-amp. Practical, when we use op-amp in lab, that is practical op-amp, and it is required that its characteristics are nearby equal to ideal op-amp, but there is slight variation. So first foremost, electrical characteristics of an ideal op-amp is infinite voltage gain. It has infinite voltage gain. Next is infinite input resistance, Ri. Why this is required? So that almost any signal source can drive it. We can connect any signal source to work on the amplifier, and there is no loading of the preceding stages. We know in an op-amp there are many differential amplifier stages, so there is no loading effect on the next stages. Next is zero output resistance. Now zero output resistance is also necessary so that output can drive infinite number of other devices. Whichever device is connected, it will not affect the operating point or working characteristics of an op-amp. Zero output resistance indicates this. So practically it is considered that infinite resistance should often a practical op-amp should be very high and output resistance should be very low. If it is not infinite or zero. Next requirement is zero output voltage when input voltage is zero. So if there is no input, there should be no output. However, due to mismatching of stages in practical op-amp, there is certain amount of output voltage in spite of input voltage. That is that we have discussed in null offset null voltages. Next is infinite bandwidth. Now an ideal op-amp should have infinite bandwidth. Now what is the what do you mean by bandwidth? Bandwidth is something for which frequency range for which the gain remains constant. So what is characteristics of an ideal op-amp? An ideal op-amp should have infinite bandwidth so that its gain remain constant almost every time, and any frequency signal from 0 to infinity hertz can be amplified without attenuation, without any distortion. Next is infinite common mode rejection ratio. It should have infinite common mode rejection ratio so that output common mode noise voltage is 0. So any noise introduced along with the input signal is reduced to 0. So only the amplification of input signal that is applied to the op-amp is amplified. Next is infinite slew rate. In the previous lecture we had discussed slew rate. So for 741 we had seen that it had very small slew rate, What is slew rate? Slew rate is how the output changes along with the changes in the input frequency. So for better operations, ideal op-amp should have infinite slew rate so that output voltage change occurs simultaneously with input voltage changes. Now we'll see the equivalent circuit of an op-amp. This diagram we have seen in the previous lectures. There we had only seen its diagram. So in the diagram there is, if we see, this is inverting input, this is non-inverting input. These two, in between these two is input resistance, which is depicted as Zi, and again the output resistance, the output pin is connected with an output resistance and a voltage source, and this voltage source has value A VID, this V2 minus V1, and two power supplies are shown. So basically this resistances and voltage source, this constitute the equivalent circuit of an op-amp. So working can be decided by these parameters. So the figure shows an equivalent circuit of an op-amp. This circuit includes important values that are given from data sheets. Now what are data sheets? I have constantly named data sheets. Data sheet, basically it is when op-amp is designed in a factory, the manufacturer provides the calculates the data of the respective op-amp, and these are um, uh, they are kept in table form, and these are provided with when op-amp are purchased, or they are provided online. So these are called data sheets. So this circuit includes important values from data sheets, that is A, Zi and Zo. Zi and Zo is generally referred as input impedance or output impedance. In normal terms we can use input resistance and output resistance. A VID or A V2 minus V1 is an equivalent Thevenin voltage source. Z0 is Thevenin equivalent resistance looking back into the output terminal of an op-amp. So this is the equivalent circuit of an op-amp. This circuit is useful in analyzing the basic operating principle of op-amps, as we'll see in coming lectures, and in observing the effects of standard feedback arrangement. When feedback is applied to op-amp, what arrangements are, what changes are made, and how its function of op-amp changes is can be observed. In figure, output voltage V0 is equals to AVID, where VID is the difference of the differential input voltage, that is V2 minus V1. Here V1 is the voltage at non-inverting terminal with respect to ground, and V2 is the voltage at non-inverting input terminal with respect to ground. The above equation indicates that the output voltage is directly proportional to the algebraic difference between the two input voltage. As we can see here, V0 is AVID. So it is directly proportional to VID, difference of the two voltage, and the polarity of the output voltage depends on the polarity of difference voltage. If difference voltage is negative, then output voltage will be negative. If difference voltage is positive, then output voltage will be positive. So this is the equivalent circuit of an op-amp. We'll be using it when we'll discuss feedback amplifier in case of op-amps. Now we'll start with the working of an op-amp. Op-amp to be used as an useful applications. So first of all, we'll discuss what is meant by open loop. In case of amplifiers, the term open loop indicates that no connection, either direct or via another network, exists between output and input terminal. So what does open loop? When we use open loop in case of amplifiers, it means that there is no feedback from output to the input, either directly or through any network system. Only input is providing output. No output is going back into the input. This means the output is not fed back in any form as part of input signal. And the loop that would have been formed with feedback is open. So why open loop we are saying? When we are sending back the output signal, a part of output signal to the input signal, a loop is formed between output and input. So when we are not sending any input signal, output signal to the input, the loop is not formed, or we can say the loop is open. Now we'll discuss open loop op-amp configuration. When connected in open loop configuration, the op-amp functions as a high gain amplifier, because there is no restriction to the op-amp, and we are saying in ideal case that gain is infinite. So if we are providing very small voltage, the output will be very high, almost infinite. So when op-amp is used in open loop state, it is a high gain amplifier. There are three open loop configuration. First is the differential amplifier, second is inverting amplifier, and third is non-inverting amplifier. Now these three open loop configurations are classed according to number of inputs used. If we are using both the inputs, then differential amplifier, and so on. So how many types of inputs we are using, it is classed according to that, and the terminal to which input is applied when single input is used. And if we are using single input, then which input is being used, it is classified on this basis. This we will see in coming slides. Now first of all, we will discuss the differential amplifier. So this is basic open loop configuration of differential amplifier circuit. If you can see in the figure, we see that there are two power supplies are connected. Plus and minus sign show the inverting input and non-inverting input, and output is taken from this end. We are applying input signal to both the inputs, to the inverting input and non-inverting input. Both the inputs we are applying input signals. These are input resistances. So the figure shows open loop differential amplifier. The input signal VIN1 and VIN2 are applied to positive and negative terminals. Since op-amp amplifies difference of two input signals, thus the name, because name is given accordingly because it amplifies difference of two input signals, so its name is differential amplifier. It is a versatile device, which means it can be used anywhere. Anywhere means in this case it is meant it amplifies both AC and DC inputs. As you can see from the diagram, there is no loop formation. There is no wire from output going into input. So it is open loop circuit. So this differential amplifier is open loop differential amplifier. The source resistances RIN1 and RIN2 are negligible as compared to input resistance Ri. So voltage drop across them is considered zero. So this whenever we connect any signal, it has some sort of source resistance. It has some sort of resistances. These resistances are shown here. But these resistances are very small in value as compared to the internal resistance. We have in equivalent circuit we have drawn between plus and minus, we have drawn an equivalent input resistance Ri. So comparing to Ri, these two values are very small. So they are generally considered negligible. So voltage drop across these resistors are considered to be zero. This implies that V1, what is V1? V1 is the voltage applied at non-inverting end. So if RIN1 is approximately negligible, then the voltage of the applied by the source resistance is VIN1. If this resistance had some greater value, then some voltage drop would have occurred here and the leftover value would have reached V1. But we have considered RIN1 to be very small, so voltage drop is almost zero. So whatever we apply here comes here. So we can say V1 is equal to VIN1 and V2 is equal to VIN2. Thus V0 is equals to A VIN1 minus VIN2 by the as discussed before. Now, what will be the polarity of the output? The polarity of output depends on polarity of difference of inputs. Whatever be the difference input polarity will be seen in output voltage. And this gain A is commonly referred as open loop gain. This we will be discussing in detail when we will discuss closed loop configuration. So this is open loop gain denoted by capital A. Now next is the inverting amplifier. So this is basic diagram of an inverting amplifier. If you can see from the diagram, again there are two voltage supplies are added to output is taken from here. Two inputs, out of the two inputs V1 is grounded and V2 to minus end we have connected an input signal. So there is only one input signal applied to the minus end and plus end is grounded. Figure shows open loop inverting amplifier. Only one input is applied at inverting input terminal. The non-inverting terminal is grounded. Since V1 is 0, because it is grounded, so V1 is 0 and V2 is equal to VIN. So what will be according to equation, the output voltage V0 will be equal to minus A VIN, because we write V2 minus V1, V1 minus V2, V1 is 0 and V2 is VIN. So we get a minus sign. The negative sign indicates the polarity of output is inverse of input. Hence, its name is given the inverting amplifier. For an positive going signal, we will get negative going output voltage, output signal amplified. Of course, it will be amplified. Now, next is the non-inverting amplifier. Again, as you can see from the diagram, we have two power supplies. Output is taken from here, and if we see at plus end, we have applied an input signal and minus sign is grounded. So again, only one input signal is provided at the positive end and minus end is grounded. So figure shows open loop non-inverting amplifier. Only one input is applied at non-inverting input terminal, that is positive terminal. The inverting terminal is grounded. Now since we are applying input at V1, so V1 will be equal to Vin and V2 will be 0 because it is grounded. So the output voltage will be V0 equals to A Vin. This will be positive. The positive sign indicates the polarity of output is, it is wrongly written. I'll correct. The positive sign indicates polarity of output is same as input. So these three amplifiers we have discussed were all open loop configuration of op-amp. In all the three amplifiers, we have seen that there is no feedback arrangement, there is no loop formation from output to the input. In all three cases, the op-amp acts as a high gain amplifier, and according to the number of inputs used, we get the polarity and the output voltage suitably. Now we'll discuss. We have seen that what we have written initially, that op-amp can be used in AC and DC both case. So we'll discuss using an example. So we take a numerical example. What is the question? Question is, determine the output voltage in each of the following case for open loop differential amplifier. So we are given a differential amplifier and we have to calculate output voltage in a simple way. First question is, Vin1 is 5 microvolts DC and Vin2 is minus 7 microvolts DC. Second question is, Vin1 is 10 millivolts RMS and Vin2 is 20 millivolts RMS. That is, first is DC signal and second is AC signal. I have taken both these questions because in this way you can decide what is the difference between DC signal and AC signal. What other specifications are given? The specifications are given that op-amp is a 741 and we know for 741 A is 2 into 10 raised to power 5, Ri is 2 mega ohms, R0 is 75 ohms, plus VCC is given in question 15 volts, minus VEE is given minus 15 volts, and output voltage swing is plus minus 14 volts. All these are given in the question. Now we'll solve it. So we know for a differential equation, differential amplifier, we know the output voltage is equals to V0 equals A Vin1 minus Vin2. First we'll take the DC case. For DC, we had seen that Vin1 was 5 microvolt DC and Vin2 was minus 7 microvolt DC. So putting the respective values and solving it, we get 2.4 volt DC. It is a simple numerical solved in a simple way, but here we should remember that V0 is 2.4 volt DC when it is assumed that DC output voltage is 0 for 0 inputs. Although it is not mentioned here, but you should always know that it is whether it is given an ideal op amp or a practical op amp. For a practical op amp, generally for 0 input there is no 0 in output. So sometimes in a question it is hidden that it is a practical op amp and it has this difference offset voltage, this amount of offset voltage is present. So this should be included. Here we have considered ideal op amp, so we answer is simply 2.4 volt DC. Now we'll discuss the second question. Now we know this in differential amplifier we have studied that this amplifier equation is equally suitable for both AC and DC, but for AC signal there is again one restriction more that should be considered. The AC signal must be of same frequency. The restriction is the voltage that we are providing should be at same frequency. If they are not at same frequency, then they cannot be directly used. So the theoretical value when we calculate is simply by putting the values and solving it, we get 2000 volt RMS. But 2000 volt RMS means the AC signal is being provided. So output voltage is also AC signal and it is amplified. But for an op amp 741, it has been given that it saturates at plus minus 14 volts. So actual waveform will be clipped. So how? If it is it amplifies, it can amplify, but when we observe, it will be clipped because due to op amp working or saturations, it cannot show higher variations. It is clipped, the waveform is clipped at plus 14 and minus 14. So what we get in the output, we get a square wave because the sine wave is clipped from above and below both ends. This can be shown in figure. So as you can see, the output voltage is simply a square wave because it has been clipped at plus 14 and minus 14. Okay. Now we'll consider one more question. The question is, determine the output voltage for open loop inverting amplifier if VIN, now this is inverting amplifier, so only one input will be provided. VIN is equal to 20 millivolts DC and second is VIN equal to minus 50 microvolts peak sine wave. So and again 741 op amp is provided with all the respective characteristics. Now we'll solve it. The first part is simple to solve in the same way as we have solved differential amplifier output voltage. Here only the equation will slightly change. According to equation of inverting amplifier, we have V naught equals to minus A VIN. Putting the respective values, we obtain minus 4000 volt DC as output voltage. Now again here, why I have taken this, in that question DC value was not interfering with the output voltage swing, but now here the output voltage is 4000 volt DC. But we know that negative saturation occurs at minus 14 volts. So again its theoretical value will be minus 4000 volts, but what we get in the output will be only minus 14 volts. For the second case, we are given a sine wave. So again we'll solve it, and what we get simply a 10 volt peak. Now 10 volt peak, we have output voltage swing at plus 14 to minus 14, but here the output is 10 volts, so we'll get a amplified sine wave. This means that the output is a positive sine wave since it is less than the output voltage swing of plus minus 14 volt or 28 peak to peak value. So in this case we'll get an amplified sine wave. So this we have discussed open loop configuration of an ideal op-amp. Now we'll discuss an important part, and that is most useful part because it is basically used in further applications of an op-amp. We'll discuss closed loop open op-amp configuration. For this, we'll have to discuss in brief what do you mean by feedback. In the next lecture, we'll discuss closed loop op-amp configuration. Thank you.